officially published my second book, and let's talk about it. This is my published book. It is an author's copy, and today I am revealing the cover. You might see it's kind of hard to see right now, but it is called The Spirits in the Attic. It's a winter poetry book, and the first part of it shows like 4 different spirits alongside in an attic, and then the other side is a snow globe. But before I tell you why I wrote a winter poetry book, I want to first talk about my first book, which is a Halloween poetry book, and it's called The Haunted Wardrobe. So right here is basically a beast coming out of a wardrobe, and then on the other side there is a kind of like a carnival in the sky. Yeah, it's like a carnival themed with a little excerpt of like one of the poems. So in 2024, I officially published The Haunted Wardrobe. It was my first book ever that I ever published, and a lot of the times when I tell people about this, they're so intrigued by how I even came up with the theme of a Halloween poetry book. And the reason why I decided to do a mix of Halloween and poetry was I've always wanted to write a book. However, I know myself, if I wrote a fantasy book or any other type of book, it would have taken me 3 years to be satisfied with the quality of work for that specific book. And I just felt if I wanted a story to get out there, I need to get it out there fast without reducing the quality of the work. So how can I find a way to feel like I'm not compromising on one part of the equation? So my goal was maybe instead of writing one book, maybe do a series of short stories. Even with that, it sounded a better idea. However, I still felt like it would have taken me a lot more time. And then I came to the conclusion of why not create a poetry book and maybe have like different excerpts of like different stories written into it. And the reason why I decided to do Halloween is my favorite month. It's my favorite season of the year, and I just absolutely love it. I love the idea of being able to be different or being able to be someone completely new for a whole new day. I just remember as a kid, all of the shows and all of the movies that I would be able to watch during that time. So it gave me the most sense of nostalgia and happiness, and that's why I decided to write the book. And once I published the book, my goal was solely to just break even. I've researched a lot within the book industry, and I knew that the 2 genres that sell out the most that is fiction is fantasy and romance. And my book is neither of those. Poetry is probably the book that doesn't sell the most. Like, not a lot of people are poetry readers. I was trying to be as realistic as I could when it came to creating a book out of poetry. So my goal realistically was just to break even. How can I make this a good quality book, but not having to spend a huge chunk of change to be able to publish this? And if you want me to break down my cost for each book, just let me know in the comments and I'll happily create a video based on what I did to be able to publish both books and the expenses that it cost me to do it. Once I officially published that book, originally I wanted it to be a mix of Rupi Kaur, the poet, mixed with Goosebumps. And my core audience was probably people like women in their 20s, like early 20s. It was mostly like for people who loved the nostalgia of Halloween, and it was probably starting at Gen Z's age and going above and beyond. That was my audience. And then when I started selling it to people, I got this reoccurring comment saying like, oh, I can read this to my kids. A lot of friends who bought it who had kids would start reading it as bedtime stories to their kids. And that completely changed the way that I market my book. It also completely changed the way that I'm now writing my books. And so now I'm deciding to write books that include kids. I want to be able to have a story that a parent will also enjoy as well as the kid. and it will be like a story that they can read to their kids. And that is why I decided to continue on the poetry book, but make it more of a nursery rhyme type of book for parents that they could read to their kids. And I decided to do it seasonally because I felt like I would be able to market it during those times, and I feel like there would be a demand for specific types of decorations versus holiday themed stuff. And for the Spirits in the Attic, a lot of it's winter related, different holiday themes, Christmas. There's a specific story that talks about Santa. The wife of Santa is like you need to be more healthy with the decisions that you make when you eat, and he acknowledges that but then decides to self-sabotage himself and then chug a bunch of cookies and like scarf them down, and now he like is sick. And as a replacement, they now have a robotic Santa helping the elves with everything, and then the robotic Santa ends up going haywire. So it's kind of crazy, all of these like little stories, and I'm excited for people to read them. It is a little bit different from the Halloween poetry book. It still has all these different types of stories. Instead of it being spooky, it's more like uplifting. I would think of like Hallmark type of feeling that you get, more wholesome. And one question that I usually get is, how long did it take you to publish the book? For The Haunted Wardrobe, it took me a year and a half for the whole process, to write, edit, publish, and all that. For The Spirits in the Attic, I was able to get my rough draft done within 2 months. And then it also took me a year, but it was an easier process because I already knew what I was getting myself into. The only thing that I really had a problem with publishing the book, because I think I waited a little bit too long to do it. I got it done, but it was probably more stressful than it needed to be. I'm going to leave the video from here, but like let me know in the comments because I don't want to make this too long. I just wanted to reveal my book, and I will put it in the comments below. Feel free to grab a copy of your choice. I'm just really excited that I have another book. I just want to encourage others, if you are working on a project, a book, music, whatever, like any passion project, don't allow like the perfectionism in you to not publish the book. There's so many hurdles that you have to overcome when it comes to publishing pieces of work is solely for passion, but it's definitely worth it in the end. Thank you for anyone who's watching it and is able to see my first book reveal, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more updates. I'm currently doing a 90-day challenge writing, so if you ever want to see my process in writing, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.